So, if you're the owner of a DOD FX-17 wah/volume pedal, you you might like it overall, but you might be annoyed with this little 1/8" male power jack arrangement that's on here, and wish that you could add a 5.5 center negative DC jack on it. I had discovered there is a way to do it. The only physical place you can really put it is right here. I gave this one to my daughter, and I modified it so they could just use a standard DC jack, industry standard today, and it took me a while to figure this out. So I'll show you essentially what you have to do. First of all, you got to take this thing apart, which entails removing the little retaining ring that's on this shaft here. I've already taken out a lot of the screws and stuff to make this quicker, but once you take out that piece, you'll have a pair of plastic washers that go in between the treadle and the body of the effect, and then you'll be able to pull this out. You'll have this gray wire right here, which is a ground, I guess, or it's part of the variable, what I think is a variable capacitor arrangement here. Anyways, you take this little nut off, this comes off. Now this is free to move and completely come off the pedal. Then you remove 4 screws to take off the front here, which the battery cover and battery holder sits in, which you'll have to remove that and this here. And this is where the DC jack has to go. And so basically it sits about right here when it's all done. It's really pretty easy to do. All you have to do is take the wires that connect to this 1/8" DC jack and relocate them to the new DC jack here. As you can see, there is physically nowhere else to put it. You can't put it here. There's not enough room for it to clear the circuit board and the treadle, so you can't put it over here, obviously, because you have this other circuit board that sits over here. You can't put it on the front because there's nothing to mount it to, and that would be awkward anyways. So basically the only place you have is right along in here, and I chose to mount it basically right here where it has the most clearance from these 2 capacitors. So once you change all those wires, all you have to do is put it back together, and you've got a now relocated DC jack, which is much less of a pain. I find when you have this on your pedal board, this is just awkward because you have this plug in here, and then you have some kind of maybe an angled cord that it can't lay flat. It has to go like this because this thing's in the way. It's just awkward. Now I haven't done this to my other 2, but I did it at least to my daughter's one, just to do it as a just to do it. So it's not quite as complex as it might look. And while I'm at it, I'm going to show you this little circuit board here. I used to have this up on my website when it was still up, but there is a little piece of copper under here that kind of has a curved shape on one side. And I think what happens is this is basically a variable capacitor, and this plastic here is a dielectric. And when this treadle moves, it has kind of like this motion. The more you have it down, the less capacitance it has. So, and that makes it either do its wah function, depending on how this switches, or it acts like a volume pedal. So anyways, that's how you can add or modify it to have a different style of DC jack.